Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. This is a Focus Friday video. So the month of March we've been focusing on using stencils, and every Friday we've been looking at a different way to use our stencils. And today we're going to look at using our stencils just to create a very tonal background. So we're going to look at some tone on tone stenciling. So this is a card I created from it. You can see here in the background, this is not paper, it's cardstock that I've stenciled on together. It's just very, tone on tone, very subtle interest in the background. So let's get started. I'm going to first start off actually with the stamping because it's the easiest bit to do and get it out the way. So we're going to stamp our sentiment with Bermuda Bay ink and ink it up nicely. Give it a good press down. Now I should have said the stamp set I'm going to be using is this one called Happiest of Birthdays. So I'm going to use this big sentiment that I've used a gazillion times. Okay, let's stamp it one more time just to get a really nice deep image. I don't have a lot of strength in my arms sometimes, so I find it helps just to give it a bash. There we go. Let's clean the stamp set off and then we can put everything away neatly and nothing's going to get contaminated with the ink. That's why I like to always clean up as I go along, because it saves on problems like that. Okay, I'm going to bring back our mats like that. I'm just going to put this back in its little house, otherwise I'll have no space on my desk. Okay, and we're going to do our stenciling, so I'll keep the Bermuda Bay open. This is the stencil we're going to use, and it's from the Butterflies and Butterflies stamps stencil set mask set. Same thing, and I've got a piece here of Whisper White, or Basic White. I still call it Whisper White even though it hasn't been Whisper White for over a year. And then I'm just going to use some of this low-tack tape to attach my stencil to my piece of paper. I just reuse and reuse this. So there we have it. Got my blending brush. Just going to take some. You know what? You should have told me I was doing the wrong thing and you didn't. Do you know what I did wrong? I'm using the wrong cardstock. It's tone on tone, so we need our Coastal Cabana piece of cardstock. I nearly made a boo-boo there. Just as well. I was thinking. Well, by the end I was. But wouldn't have been the end of the world. We would have just had an extra piece of background that we could use in another project. So, there we have our Coastal Cabana piece down over our stencil, and now we are going to stencil with our Bermuda Bay. As I'm going around, I'm just trying to hold the stencil in place as well with my fingers, so I'm not putting too much ink on here so it doesn't go underneath the stencil. Okay, it came off, but it's not the end of the world. You can just line it back up again. Oopsie daisy. Obviously didn't stick it down very well. And there we go. Got some tone on tone stenciling there. Okay, so as you can see, you can use this low tack tape again, but do make sure it is that low tack that it doesn't stick down, as you can see, extremely well, which is, to be honest, what you want. You don't want it to be sticking down so well that it tears your project when you try and lift the tape up again. So let's close this up if we can and get rid of this and this. And just be careful with this because this will be inky, so I'm actually just going to come quickly put this under a tap so it doesn't contaminate everything else. Okay, so I just put the stencil under a tap. There wasn't much ink on it, but also I washed my hands, so then I'm not going to contaminate anything else from ink that's got on my fingers, so then I don't have to worry that I'm going to mess up my future project. So let's start to assemble our card. I just wanted to show you, wishing you the happiest of birthdays. We're going to cut this out using the rectangle stitched dies, which are these here. Totally out of shot, I'm sorry. And as you can see, you get a ton of them. I never remember which ones I used. Was it this one? No, must have been the next size up. Yes, that one. And as you see, you get so many they don't even want to stay on the magnet sheet. There's just so many of them. So I'm just going to cut that out and put that through the die cutting machine, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, a centimetre is cut out, and now I'm going to back it on a little bit of this scrap of copper foil sheet. So let me get my snail. Okay, I'm just going to, I could have used the dies, but I didn't want such a big border as the dies would give me. Just really want a titchy border like that. So now I'm just going to use my trimmer to trim off the excess. Just like that. I think I want a tiny bit more off the edge here. Just like that. So set that aside, and our card base here is Bermuda Bay, a standard A6 card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. And I've got here a piece of basic white. I'm just going to put this on the inside as our insert. Just like that, and then on the front we're going to put down our piece here of a stencil piece. Now, I like stencils. There's so many different effects you can get from them. You can see here I've gone darker in some areas and lighter in others, and give you very sort of a shadowed effect as well, and it's so pretty. So then our piece here is going to sit like this, but I do want to add something extra, and these are our square doilies. They're vellum doilies, and yes, square vellum doilies, and you get 24 in a pack, so a ton of them. And I'm just going to cut this one in half down the centre, just like that. And then I'm going to put some snail on the back of our sentiment panel. And then before I put it down, I'm just going to lay my doily to stick out at the top and at the bottom. And I think I want it doesn't want a little bit to stick out, not too much, just like that. And then I'm going to put this down on our base, which just gives it extra something to it. Now I'm going to use these, which are the what are these called? Holiday Rhinestones. I'm going to use this colour here, and I'm just going to add a rhinestone on the top of every eye, and I think we need to move to these ones now. My new pack, just like that, and there we have it. So that was our Focus Friday video today, using stenciling to create a tone on tone effect for the background of your cards. I hope you liked it. If you did, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up so YouTube know, and please do consider subscribing to my videos. As I said, Focus Friday happens every Friday. This month we've looked at stencils. January I think we looked at embossing folders. February at colouring. I think next month we're looking at shaker pockets. So do subscribe, and there's a playlist with all the Focus Friday videos, so do check them out. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.